Hey, awesome people. Mr. C here with you for another fractions video. Make sure if you learn anything new at all, click that like and subscribe button. Join us as we continue making math understandable and challenging. This video, we are going to be subtracting mixed numbers with like denominators. And we're going to be using models for this video. All right. A reminder for you, in the description below, you will find everything we have done for 4th grade fractions and improper numbers improper fractions and mixed numbers. You'll also find everything we've done for 3rd grade fractions and 2nd grade as well. Like I said, all of those videos are in the description below. Check those out. This is going to be our first subtracting mixed numbers video. We are going to be using models to help us in this video. This will be our teaching portion. All right, got a couple problems here for us. Let's jump into it. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with our first problem. Before we get started, like I always say with everything we do here at Math with Mr. C, make sure we have a growth mindset before we get started, meaning that we're going to use our mistakes to help us get better. We're going to look for challenges. We're going to think back on everything we've learned already, and we're going to keep going. We're going to ask good questions. We're going to try our best. Do not give up. Use your mistakes if you make one to help you get better. Okay, so with all that being said, this is our first subtraction video when it comes to mixed numbers, and really excited about this because you already know so much of this, and we're just going to build on a lot of things that you've already learned. We're going to be using models in this video, as you know I love to do. I'm going to be using some models, drawing what these mixed numbers look like and what it means to actually subtract from them. All right, so with all that being said, make sure you have something to be able to write on, pencil, paper, a napkin, tissue, whatever you got, okay? So a couple things that I noticed right off the bat. First thing I'm noticing is that we've got two mixed numbers, okay? Both of these mixed numbers have fractions that have denominators of 4. Do you see that? I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer for us. Both of these fractions have denominators of 4, which means that we're going to be able to jump right into subtraction of this, which is really good. We won't have any extra steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a model for 2 3/4. Okay, that's what we need to do first. So go ahead and draw 2 3/4. Let's go ahead and show that because we're not going to be able to subtract until we show it, okay? So we've got 2 holes, so let me color in 2 holes, 2 hole models. Here's 1 hole model. Here is 2 hole models. Notice I haven't broken those into fourths, and you don't have to, but sometimes, I always tell you, go ahead and you can break them into fourths if you want to, like this. Just an easy way to kind of keep track of what we're doing, because technically what we have is we have 2 holes. It don't have to be broken into fourths. I like to do it just because whenever I have to subtract or add, it just helps me see it a little bit better, okay? So here's 1 hole, there's 2 holes. Now let's show 3/4 down here in this last model. There's 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. All right, there we go. So now we've got 2 3/4, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be subtracting 1 1/4. And I kind of like drawing models when we're subtracting mixed numbers because we kind of just get to mark out what we've already drawn. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about here. What we're doing, think for a second, what does that mean to subtract 1 whole and 1/4? So we're taking away 1 whole, and we're also taking away 1/4 of a fraction. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. First thing I want us to do is look at this fraction, 1/4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take away 1/4 from our model. How would we do that? How would we show that we are subtracting 1/4? What could we do? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to draw an X. Whoops, that's a bad X. I'm actually going to change to like a marker. It's a little bit thicker. I'm going to mark out a fourth. Do you see how I just did that? I just took away 1/4. I just subtracted that. I'm literally taking it away. In my picture, I'm literally going to take it away. I'm going to mark it out. Okay, there's 1/4. What you could do as well, and we'll talk about it later, is you could erase it if you want to. I like to mark it out so I can literally see what I'm doing. So I took away 1/4. Now I need to take away 1 whole. I need to take out an entire whole. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out, so I'm going to subtract this entire whole, 1 whole. That's what I just did. I just took away that 1 whole. Now take a look. What's our answer? How much do we still have? What do we still have in our model here? Well, look, we have 1 whole. We still have 1 whole, so there's a whole number. And then we don't have anything here. We took that away. We subtracted 1 whole. And then we subtracted a fourth from this fraction, 3/4. So how much do you still have left? 1/4, 2/4. And there's your answer, 1 2/4. Take a look at that, okay? How did we get that? First thing we did is we drew the model. Then we subtracted 1/4. That's where we took away this fourth. Then we subtracted 1 whole, and there we went, and we took away 1 whole. To get our answer, all we did was count up our model. We had 1 whole, we have 2/4. Our answer is 1 2/4. Okay? Take a look at that. Maybe a little bit confusing still. Ask yourself where you're confused, what doesn't make sense, where'd you get stuck at? And then I want to show you another one. Next problem on the screen. And I want us to do the same thing we just did. Okay, a couple things. First thing I'm noticing, both of these mixed numbers have a fraction. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Both of these mixed numbers have a fraction that is the same denominator. Okay, both fractions have the same denominator. That's great news for us because that means that there isn't an additional step. That means we're going to be able to just subtract right away. So let's draw 3 1/2 because that's how much we are starting with. We're starting with 3 1/2 and we are subtracting 2 1/2. So let's draw this model. I like to use a rectangle. I know some of y'all like to use squares, and that's totally cool. Feel free to use squares if you like. I use the rectangle. Some people use circles. Totally up to you. All right. So actually, let me erase those. Let's start off with this. So we've got 3 holes, so I need to color in 3 holes. And before I color it in, though, this is just something I like to do. I like to break it up into whatever my denominator is. So my denominator is half. So this model technically would be broken into 2 sections, and we would color in both sections because we're representing 1 whole. Okay, and again, we have a video that we've already done on that. Check that out in our fractions, 4th grade fractions playlist. So there's our first model. I'm going to copy this because we've got a second hole that we need to color in. So there's 2 holes. And let's get another one here. This will be our 3rd hole. And again, that's how much we technically have as our whole number. Our whole number is 3 holes. I'll even write it down next to the side here so we can see that. There's 1 hole, 2 holes, and 3 holes. Now our fraction is 1/2, so again, notice my models are the same size because that's really important. Anytime that we are drawing models, we have to make sure they are going to be the same size because we can't compare things, can't compare models if they're completely different sizes, okay? So here is 1/2. I'll even write it off to the side here. So double check me, make sure that we have 3 1/2 shown. Here's 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes. There's half, so 3 1/2. Now we are going to subtract 2 1/2. And to do so, I'm literally going to mark out 2 1/2. And I always start with my fraction, okay? I'm going to start with my fraction. I'm going to mark out, I'm going to take away, I'm going to subtract 1/2. And to do so, I'm going to subtract this half right here. Okay, the reason we're doing that, the reason we're marking it out is because it helps us to see what that means when we're subtracting. You could, if you wanted to, whoops, I didn't want to erase the whole thing. Give me a second there. Whoops, 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 I just erased the whole thing. Give me a second, Let's redo it. There we go. All right. So what you could do, instead of doing what I was doing here, wow, it keeps doing that. I'm sorry, guys. You may not be able to see what I wanted to say. What I was going to say is what you could do is you could erase what you're taking away. So this 1/2 here, you could just erase this and it would just disappear, okay? Because we're taking away, we're subtracting. It does not exist anymore, okay? But I like to mark it out. It just helps me see it, okay? It helps me see it a little bit better. So we took away 1/2. Now we need to take away 2 wholes. Okay, we need to take away 2 wholes. So let's do that. Here is 1 whole I'm going to mark out. Here is 2 wholes I'm going to subtract. Okay, I subtracted 2. There's 1, 2, and 1/2. There's 1/2. Now my question to you is, how much do we have left? When we subtract 2 1/2, how much do we have left? Well, look at our model. What do we still have in our model over here? The only thing we still have left is 1 whole. That's all we have left. We only have the number 1 left. We started off with 3 1/2. 1, 2, 3, and here's a half. We subtracted 2 1/2. There's a half. 1, 2. We look at our model. Our final answer is 1. What do you think? Where are you confused at? What doesn't make sense? Where are you getting lost? Where are you stuck at? Rewatch this if you need to. Try some more on your own. Remember, drawing models is a great way for us to be able to see what it means to subtract a mixed number. When you're ready, in the description below, you will find our practice problems video. Have a couple more I want to try out with you. Let's challenge ourselves a little bit more. A reminder for you, if you learn anything new at all, click that like and subscribe button. Join us as we continue making math understandable and challenging. That's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. C, out.